Hello all, welcome to our channel Learn Civil Engineering. In this video, we are going to discuss the MCQs on aggregate topic. So let us see the first one. For perfectly rounded aggregate, angularity number is. So basically for angularity number, formula is angularity number equal to void percentage minus 33. That means whatever the aggregate type it is, take a container and fill the container with the aggregate. Then calculate the void percentage in that. So based on that void percentage, you can calculate that angularity number. So what is that formula for the angularity number here? Void percentage minus 33. Now suppose if you take the rounded aggregate, in that case this void percentage is 33. And if you take the angular aggregate, void percentage will be 44. That means perfectly rounded, or else perfectly angular. So in case of perfectly rounded aggregate, void percentage is 33. In case of perfectly angular aggregate, void percentage is 44. So they are asking for perfectly rounded aggregate. So what will be the angularity number? Okay, in this case, what will be the angularity number? 33 minus 33. That is equal to 0. So remember that for perfectly rounded aggregate, angularity number is 0. Suppose if they mention like perfectly angular aggregate. So when they mention perfect angular aggregate, then what will be the angularity number? 11. So this angularity number varies from 0 to 11 totally. So that's the range of the angularity number. 0 represents perfectly rounded aggregate, 11 represents perfectly angular aggregate. That's the point. Next one. Fineness modulus of fine aggregate is 2.5 and coarse aggregate is 7.5. If they are mixed in proportion of 1:3, what is the fineness modulus of combined aggregate? So now for the fineness modulus of combined aggregate, formula is fineness modulus of fine aggregate into percentage of fine aggregate plus fineness modulus of coarse aggregate into percentage of coarse aggregate divided by 100. That's the formula. So fineness modulus of fine aggregate, how much is that? 2.5 into percentage of fine aggregate, that is 25 here. So why I am taking 25 is fine aggregate and coarse aggregate are in the ratio of 1:3. That means 25% of fine aggregate is there and 75% of coarse aggregate is there. So 2.5 into 25, percentage of fineness modulus of coarse aggregate is 7.5 into percentage of coarse aggregate is how much? 75. So that divided by 100. So this will give you how much? This total sum will be 625 divided by 100, that is equal to 6.25. So 6.25 is the answer. So remember this formula, fineness modulus of combined aggregate. Very important this is. Next one. What does the fineness modulus of fine aggregate indicates? So basically fineness modulus of fine aggregate indicates mean size of the particle in sample. Okay, what does the fineness modulus indicates? It indicates the mean size of the particle in the sample. That means if you take a sample, it consists of particles of different sizes, and for the different sizes, if you calculate that mean, that will be represented using the fineness modulus. And the formula to determine the fineness modulus is sigma of cumulative percentage retained above 150 microns divided by 100. That's the formula. Okay, so this fineness modulus varies from usually 0 to 10 for different types of aggregate, whether it may be fine aggregate or coarse aggregate, whatever it is. Fineness modulus usually varies from how much? 0 to 10 for the aggregate. Okay, so what does the fineness modulus indicate? It indicates the mean size of the particle. The next one, fineness modulus of sand used in construction ranges from. Okay, so basically there are three types of the construction sand. They are fine sand, medium sand and coarse sand. Okay, fine sand, medium sand and coarse sand. For fine sand, what is the fineness modulus? 2.2 to 2.6. For medium sand, 2.6 to 2.9. For coarse sand, 2.9 3.2. Okay, so now all these three can be used as construction sand. So for the construction sand, what is the fineness modulus is 2.2 to 3.2. Okay, so that's the answer. For the construction sand, it varies from 2.2 to 3.2. But particularly if they ask like fine sand, medium sand, and coarse sand, then you have to take these answers. Next one. For flaky aggregate, least dimension is. So basically, we know two types of aggregate here, flaky and elongated. So now when I say flaky aggregate, the thickness is less. If the thickness of the aggregate is less, they are called as flaky aggregate. If length of the aggregate is high, they are called as elongated aggregate. Now for the flaky aggregate, least dimension is less than 0.6 times of mean dimension. Okay, for flaky aggregate, least dimension means nothing but thickness. So if the thickness is less than 0.6 times of mean dimension, then it is called as a flaky aggregate. Now for elongated aggregate, greater dimension. So when I say greater dimension, that is what? Length. So for elongated aggregate, if you see the length, that must be greater than 1.8 times of mean dimension. Okay, so for the flaky aggregate, remember that least dimension is less than 0.6 times of mean dimension. For elongated aggregate, greater dimension is, that means length is greater than 1.8 times of mean dimension. So they are asking like for flaky aggregate, least dimension is, so what will be the answer? Less than 0.6 times of the mean dimension. Suppose if they ask you like for the elongated aggregate, then answer will be greater than 1.8 times of mean dimension. That's the thing. Next one, bulking of sand is due to the, so basically bulking of sand is due to water adsorption. Okay, bulking of sand is due to what? Water adsorption. And water adsorption means nothing but formation of thin film. Okay, water adsorption means what? Formation of thin film. So the formation of thin film on the particle is called as water adsorption, and this water adsorption lead to the bulking of the sand. So what is the answer here is formation of films on the particle. And whatever this water absorption is there, that will cause the swelling. So swelling is because of the water absorption, and bulking of sand is because of the water adsorption. And in both the cases, what happens is both in bulking and swelling, volume of the sand increases. That's the point. Next one. To determine the specific gravity of aggregate greater than 10 mm size, instrument used is. So basically we use different types of instrument to measure the specific gravity. And whatever this wire basket is there, that is used if the size of the aggregate is greater than 10 mm. If the size of the aggregate is less than 10 mm, then we use the pycnometer. And this density bottle is used generally in case of the soils, and Leach-Adler flask is used to determine the specific gravity of the cement. So they are asking for the specific gravity of aggregate size greater than 10 mm. So what will be the answer? Wire basket will be the answer. Next one. Soundness test of aggregate refers to. So basically soundness of cement, if you take the soundness of cement, that is the resistance to expansion. Okay, soundness of cement means what? Resistance to expansion. And if you take the soundness of aggregate, that is the resistance to the weathering. Okay, soundness of aggregate means what? Resistance to the weathering. So that will be the answer here. Next one. In soundness test of aggregate, loss in weight should not be more than dash for fine aggregate when immersed in sodium sulfate solution. Basically, soundness test is conducted in two types of solutions. One is Na2SO4, another one is MgSO4. You can conduct the test either in the Na2SO4 solution or in the MgSO4 solution. And this test you can conduct for either fine aggregate or else you can conduct for the coarse aggregate. Suppose if you are conducting the test for fine aggregate in the Na2SO4 solution, then loss in weight should not be more than 10%. And if you are conducting the test for the fine aggregate in the MgSO4 solution, loss in weight should not be more than 15%. Similarly, if you are conducting the test for coarse aggregate, then loss in weight should not be more than 12% and 18% in the soundness test. Okay, so now they are asking for what here? They are asking for loss in weight should not be more than dash for fine aggregate when immersed in the sodium sulfate solution. Fine aggregate sodium sulfate solution. So what is the answer? 10%. Next one. For aggregate used in wearing course of pavement, impact value should not be more than dash %. Okay, so here they are talking about the aggregate impact value, and this aggregate impact value should not be more than 30% for aggregate used in the wearing courses. For the aggregate used in the wearing courses, and this should not be more than 50%. Okay, this should not be more than 45% for other structures. That means in all other cases it should not be more than 45%, but when it comes to the wearing courses in payments, that should not be more than 30%. So what is the answer here? 30%. Suppose here if they have mentioned anything other than the wearing course, then what will be the value? Then what will be the value? 45. Next one, aggregate aberration value test is conducted using. So basically there are three types of apparatus to conduct the aggregate aberration value test. They are Los Angeles testing machine and Deville testing machine and Doris testing machine. These are the three apparatus we have to conduct the aggregate aberration value test. Now in the options given here, you have Doris testing machine, we can use Deville testing machine, you can use, but can we use the compaction factor apparatus? No. This compaction factor apparatus is used to determine the workability of concrete, and this Hindle apparatus doesn't exist at all. So what is the answer here is both 1 and 2. Next one, in a shape test conducted on aggregate, give following results. So see the results here. They have mentioned like total weight of aggregate sample first, that is how much? 500 grams. Aggregate passing from the thickness gauge, that is how much? 100 grams. Aggregate passing from the length gauge, that is how much? 300 grams. Now the point is, the formula for the flakiness index is flakiness index equal to weight of flaky aggregate. So whatever the aggregate passed from the thickness gauge, that will be the weight of the flaky aggregate. That is how much? 100 grams. So 100 grams divided by total weight of the aggregate here, 500 grams into 100. So that will be how much? 20%. Okay. Then whatever this elongation index is there, for that the formula slightly varies. So for that elongation index, what is the formula is weight of the elongated aggregate divided by weight of the non-flaky aggregate. Okay, weight of the non-flaky aggregate. Now in this case, weight of the flaky aggregate is how much? 100 grams. So what will be the weight of the non-flaky aggregate is, that will be the 400 grams. So you have to take like 100 grams divided by 400 grams. So why I am taking here 100 grams is aggregate passing from the length gauge is how much? 300 grams. So whatever the aggregate doesn't pass from the length gauge, that will be the elongated aggregate. Okay, so now what is the weight of the aggregate not passing from the length gauge? That is 100 grams. Because this elongation test we are conducting only for the non-flaky aggregate, so you are conducting the test for 400 grams. In that 300 grams is passing. So that 300 grams passing is non-elongated and remaining 100 grams is elongated. So weight of the elongated aggregate is 100 grams. And weight of the flaky, non-flaky aggregate is 400 grams into 100. So that will be how much? 25. So what is the sum of flakiness and elongation index here? 20 plus 25, that will be 45. So 45% is the answer here. Okay. So these are the important questions in the aggregate topic. And in the next video, we will discuss the important questions from the concrete topic. If you like this video, please share it to your friends and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.